It's Friday night, and from the Frank Beck Chevrolet Studio Annex, it's time again for Time Out Overtime. On the Time Out Overtime YouTube channel, I'm Rick Arsenal, and as always, first things first, thanks so much for watching. And if you haven't done so by now, please get down there in that corner down there, smash the like and subscribe or like and share button. Thank you so much. You know how much I appreciate that. Uh, Michigan basketball Wolverines are playing in West Lafayette tonight. It's halftime. I just finished watching the first half. That's why I'm getting on a little later tonight. And ugly, ugly, ugly. Michigan can't do anything right. Purdue can't do anything wrong. And the bottom line is, I'm not even going to bother to tell you the score right now, only to say that a couple of different points in the first half, Michigan was almost down by 40 points. It's been that bad. So that's all we're going to say about the Wolverines tonight. As far as this game goes, yeah, obviously they've been outplayed, but the old saying goes, beat me, but don't embarrass me. That's what Purdue is trying to do to Michigan tonight. And I think that's totally classless. Totally classless. Anyway, I think their margin, well, it's embarrassing what's happened in the first half. Totally embarrassing. Michigan State, first place in the Big Ten, perfect 7-0 record, 16-2 overall. We're in New Jersey tomorrow to take on Rutgers. They should make it, 12, 13 straight games. I don't think they have any problems at all beating Rutgers tomorrow. But then again, you never know. I'm assuming Michigan State should beat them tomorrow. They're ranked number 8 in the country right now. They're playing very well. I didn't think they'd be this good this year, but kudos to Tom Izzo and his crew. As far as the Red Wings go, they stopped the bleeding last night with a nice 4-2 win over Montreal, the Canadiens. So what are the Wings right now? They are 22, 21, and 5, good for 49 points. They're in 7th place in the Atlantic Division. That means they're one spot from the cellar. But the team they're playing tomorrow night, the Tampa Bay Lightning, have 54 points. The Wings have 49. So there's just 5 points separating 3 from 7 right now. That's how bunched up they are. You got a chance for revenge tomorrow night when you've got the Lightning coming into Joe Louis, Little Caesars Arena, to play the Wings. I think it's a 7 o'clock start tomorrow night. So, yeah, be nice if they could defeat the Lightning and get within 3 points of them. Again, that Atlantic Division is pretty well bunched up. So, Pistons, a couple of nice road wins at Houston and Atlanta. They are over Orlando tomorrow night to take on the Magic. With a Piston win tomorrow night, they'd go to 24-21, and a Pacers loss tomorrow night in San Antonio. The Pistons could overtake them for 5th place in the NBA's Eastern Conference. So maybe the Pistons that I didn't hear, but maybe they should have taken a bus from Atlanta down to Orlando and stopped at a Buc-ee's in between. It sure worked last time, didn't it? Orlando, by the way, is pretty well banged up. I think they've lost 5 or 6 in a row. Well, good chance for the Pistons to get another win tomorrow night. Another win on the road. They do come north after tomorrow night, and on Monday night they're in Cleveland to take on the top team in the NBA, the Cleveland Cavaliers. Maybe they could use that game as a measuring stick to see just where they're at right now. But I think that got you caught up on that. As far as the Tigers go, nothing new to report on the Alex Bregman front. Things have pretty much hit a stalemate right now. I don't know. Look, spring training is just a little more than 2 weeks away. I think it's about 15 days away right now, or 16. The first spring training game, I think, is February 22nd. I said a couple of weeks ago, I didn't think Bregman would get signed until about halfway or 2/3 of the way through spring training. And I think that's the case. Right now, I think the person with egg on his face is his agent, Scott Boras. So we'll see where this ends up. But yeah, I think it'll be halfway through spring training or 2/3 of the way through spring training before anything happens with Alex Brinkman. All right. I get you caught up on everything now. I think so. Well, let's do this for our great sponsors, and then we will continue. You know, it's winter. We're right in the middle of winter right now. And I assume you've done so by now. But if you haven't, or if your car's acting up a little bit because of the winter weather, you know, now's the time to make an appointment. Get into the service department at Frank Beck Chevrolet and make that appointment. To make sure that your vehicle will make it through the rest of the rough Michigan winter. You know, you should have had your car winterized by now, but maybe something's come up. You know, maybe you have some problem. Anyway, get it into the service department of Frank Beck Chevrolet. You get in there and if you're having any issues at all, let them check the strength of your battery. Nothing's worse on a battery than sub-zero temperatures like we've been having. So you better get in there and check the strength of your battery. Your belts, your hoses, wiper blades, antifreeze, and more. Plus, now is the perfect time to get that new set of tires so you don't go slipping and sliding down the highway. And if you don't think your car will make it through the rest of this rough Michigan winter, let the sales pros at Beck's help you find a vehicle for all seasons. You know, the 2025s are rolling in nearly every day out of the lot right now, so the selection is tops. You can check out their inventory on their webpage at frankbeckchevy.com or stop by the dealership on M99 between Hillsdale and Jonesville and let them help you experience the Frank Beck difference. And keep in mind that now through the end of the month, it's Beckathon. Not Buckathon, Beckathon. What's this all about, you might be asking? Well, for the rest of the month, during the month of January, now through the 31st, you will get an extra $1,000 dealer cash on all remaining new 2024 models in stock. Let me repeat that. An extra $1,000 dealer cash on all remaining new 2024 models in stock. Not only that, you get an extra $3,000 dealer cash on all select used vehicles in stock. Folks, this is an offer that's too good to pass up. You get in there and get into the dealership and talk to one of the salesmen. They'll fill you in on all the details. Give them a call at 517-849-2886. This is something you really want to get in there and take advantage of. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. Chevy drives Southern Michigan. Frank Beck Chevrolet, the #1 Chevrolet dealer in the tri-state area. All right, Detroit Lions news. NFL news, if you haven't heard by now, Pete Carroll, at the age of 73, is the new head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. That surprise you? It surprises me a little bit. Hey, he's doesn't act like he's 73, as you know. He's obviously the man's in very good shape for his age. And hey, we'll see how this works out. We know he had an interview with the Bears a while back, so obviously he wanted to come back and coach. Another ex-head coach as of right now, Robert Saleh from the Jets, apparently is thinking about going back to the 49ers as their defensive coordinator, which is what he was when he left to take the Jets job. Because the 49ers have an opening at their defensive coordinator spot, as their now former defensive coordinator, Steve Wilks, is now working for Aaron Glenn as his new defensive coordinator with the New York Jets. So it didn't take Aaron Glenn much time to find his defensive coordinator. I think he's, hey, I wouldn't mind seeing this guy come to the Lions as their defensive coordinator. He's very underrated. I think he's one of the brightest young head coaches in the game right now. I don't think Aaron Glenn could have made a better selection. In fact, I'm a little bit envious. In a way, I kind of wish he would have come to the Lions in that same capacity. Anyhow, the Lions today interviewed Larry Foote, former Michigan Wolverine and Pittsburgh Steeler, who's currently at Tampa Bay, outside linebackers coach and defensive passing game coordinator. We'll see how that goes. I've heard people say nothing but good things about him down there. I think that Tampa Bay defense has been good. They're a little undermanned, but there's still been a very good defense. They are a perennial playoff team every year under Todd Bowles. So, I look. This is the first of many interviews. Maybe, who knows? I would rather see this gun get done sooner rather than later. Same thing with the offensive coordinator. As far as a couple of other candidates, one other candidate for offensive coordinator, of course, Kelvin Shepard, the current Lions linebacker coach, and Dennis Allen, as we spoke about last time we were on, former New Orleans Saints defensive coordinator. Once Sean Payton left, he was promoted to head coach. Did not have a lot of good luck in that capacity. As you know, just because someone's a good coordinator does not necessarily translate into them being a good head coach, and that's not always the case. Some defensive coordinators go on to be good head coaches. Others, not so much. Look at Matt Eberflus, very good defensive coordinator. As a head coach with the Bears, he didn't cut the mustard. In fact, that's a name I'm hearing now for a possible Lions defensive coordinator, Matt Eberflus. I thought once he left the Bears, I thought their defense went down quite a bit. I thought when Eberflus was there calling defensive signals, I thought the Bears' defense was pretty darn good. So, and then once he left, it had fallen off. It was noticeably weaker. I don't know who was calling the defensive signals, but it wasn't Eberflus. Hank Fraley's wife has tweeted out good news. Hank Fraley's wife has tweeted out they will not be leaving Detroit. And that's good news, isn't it? Frank now can rest easy now that he knows he's not going to lose his coach. That would have been, to lose Hank Fraley would have been devastating for what he's done with the offensive line. But good news, Hank Fraley is staying in Detroit. He's not going anywhere. Before I go through this list here of the current Lion free agents, who I think is staying and who I think is going, as always, I put in a good word for a good man who, as you know, without his help and assistance, I wouldn't be able to do this show. Quality PC, downtown Hillsdale, 37 Walter Street, directly across the street from Fat Jack's Automotive, a couple 100 feet west of Howell. Tim Lindley, Lendley, the top technician in our area. There you will find no other technician with more knowledge and savvy and smarts than this guy. 517-610-5372. Whatever issues you have with the computer or a flat screen TV or internet installation, printers newer used, anything at all, please get in there and see Tim. 37 Walter Street, across the street from Fat Jack's. 517-610-5372, or better still, get in there and see him. And when you do, please tell him Miggy and me sent you. Thank you. Quickly. One more thing I neglected to mention, too. Cade Cunningham will not be starting in the All-Star game, and I think that's a very bad injustice. I think he can't do any more. He can't accomplish any more, I think, to have gotten a starting assignment in the All-Star game. He can still get selected to fill out the roster, but I think he should have been starting this year. No, that's a shame. That's too bad, as good as he's been playing. Lions, who are free agents, who I think may come and may go. Levi Onwuzurike, will he be back or not? See, this is tough to determine too, because you don't know what the Lions are going to do in free agency or the draft. Brian Holmes, who spoke yesterday at his annual postseason press conference, said he's not changing anything. When it comes to the need, a positional need, he's going to do that, fill that through free agency. Comes to the draft, it's always the best player available, regardless of what position they're at. So that's simply his method of operation. Anyway, and then Levi Onwuzurike, my guess is that he will not be back. I didn't think the way they raved about him at training camp, I just didn't see it. He was all right, but I don't think he'll be back. Kevin Zeitler will be 36 next season. I do not think he will be back either. Possible. I'd like to see him back. If the price is right, I think you could bring him back on another 1-year deal. I'd like to see him, pardon me, at right guard again. As far as Graham Glasgow goes, I think he'll be back, but I think he'll be relegated to backup. I think, of course, depending on what happens in training camp, I think Christian Mahogany will beat him out as a starting left guard. I was impressed with Mahogany this year. That may have been the one saving grace from this past season's draft class, Christian Mahogany. I got to thinking about that the other day when I said they got no help from last year's draft. Well, they did get a little bit of help from this guy. If he'd have been healthier early in the season, maybe he could have really shown us what he could do. But Marcus Davenport played a couple of games and got hurt again. Defensive end, edge rusher. He won't be back. Carlton Davis, I'd like to see him back. Again, you don't know what the Lions are going to do in free agency, but even Brad Holmes admitted he played better this year than he did last year because he was relatively healthy until, of course, he broke his jaw. I would like to see the Lions bring him back. Right now, I say it's 50-50 whether or not he's back or not. Tim Patrick, that's a great story. He was able to stay healthy this year. The Broncos cut him because he was always hurt. I think as a third receiver, I think he was pretty good this year. And they had a good teammate, too. I'd like to see them bring him back. I'd say that's 50-50. Last person on this list is Derek Barnes, linebacker Derek Barnes. I do not think he will be back. I honestly don't. Got hurt. First couple of seasons here, he wasn't all that good. He got hurt. Then when he did play, he was okay. Then he got hurt again. Then he came back and played better. I don't think Derek Barnes will be back next year. I think he's played his last game in Detroit. That's going to about do it. Don't forget, tomorrow morning here locally with Andy and Jed from 9 to 10 on WCSR 92.1 FM, the Timeout Show. We'll probably discuss a lot of this tomorrow and hash it over. And that's going to about do it for Friday night here. I'll talk to you all again on Monday. So till then, have a good rest of your weekend. As always, thanks so much for watching. Remember to treat each other with respect. And so long, everybody.